Perfect World EP74 trailer has been updated. Parents imprisoned, grandfather vomited blood. What happened to the family completely ignites Shi Hao's anger. A strong murderous aura shrouds Bulo Mountain, and the divine flame in his eyes is like a sharp blade. Shi Hao holds the national suppressing halberd and stomps hard. Layers of airwaves explode, shaking the entire mountain range. Qin Zhan is unmoved and licks the corner of his mouth with his tongue, showing a sinister smile. The breath in his hand condenses, and an ancient round blade appears out. At this moment, Qin Zhan seems to have fallen into madness, laughing wildly, constantly provoking Shi Hao. I was the one who smashed your grandfather's chest with one foot. Shi Hao's fighting intent explodes. His eyes are cold. He charges at Qin Zhan. Feeling the smart breath coming from his face, Qin Zhan laughs even more madly. The resolute lines of the face are twisted to the point of terrifying. His whole body swells with energy, nimbly dodging the slashing of the national suppressing halberd. Then the round blade in his hand is placed in front of his chest, blocking Shi Hao's follow-up attack. The halberd collides with the round blade, making a loud noise. A golden shockwave spreads from the collision center to all directions. The rock collapses, the ground crumbles. The powerful aftermath shakes the hearts of everyone watching the battle. Qin Hao's eyes are solemn, and he only knows at this moment that his brother's strength is so strong. Shi Hao does not use all his strength in the battle with him earlier. Qin Hao clenches his fists unwillingly. He is walking an invincible road. He firmly believes that in the future, he can defeat the Venerable Bulo Mountain and be on par with the ancestors of the Qin family. However, his brother has already done it. Humiliation and jealousy rises in Qin Hao's heart, and his belief in becoming stronger gets stronger and stronger. He wants to defeat Shi Hao and wants to strengthen his invincible faith by surpassing Shi Hao. Shi Hao doesn't know what his younger brother is thinking. He just wants to defeat Qin Zhan and find clues about his grandfather. The golden light appears. Shi Hao summons Qin Peng Wing. Speeds to the extreme. Shi Hao's figure crosses the valley like a ghost. In the next second, the halberd in his hand has been handed to Qin Zhan. This halberd contains the method of Qin Peng and activates the sleeping divine will of the halberd. Qin Zhan pulls all his strength on the blade to block the violent blow. Shi Hao's powerful destructive power has stimulated the potential of Qin Zhan's body. Every cell in his body is waking up, reveling. The smile on Qin Zhan's face blooms even more savagely. He knows that he is about to step out of the road to nirvana. Is that all? Your grandfather is beaten by me to vomit blood. Qin Zhan keeps sneering. He wants to use Shi Hao's strength to temper his physique. He wants Shi Hao to push him into a desperate situation, and then reborn in nirvana in the desperate situation. Break through the shackles of the lower world and enter the level of gods. Facing Qin Zhan's continuous ridicule, Shi Hao guesses that Qin Zhan may have another purpose. The halberd in his hand shoves violently. The huge force knocks Qin Zhan out, and several bones are broken. Start coughing up blood. Qin Zhan steps back to the top of a mountain before he stabilizes his body. He is breathing heavily, his breath a little sluggish. His wide eyes are full of bloodshot. Not enough, not enough. He cries out piercingly, and blood keeps gurgling from his wound. At this time, Qin Zhan is like a beast driven into a desperate situation to tear apart all living beings around. Shi Hao is not afraid at all, no matter what Qin Zhan's plans. He will not let him go, as long as he dares to do something to his family. Qin Zhan must pay the price in blood. He wants to defeat Qin Zhan's conspiracy in the most domineering way. Shi Hao's brows are knitted together. His handsome face is like frost. He raises his right hand. The entire space is suddenly frozen, filled with a suffocating sense of oppression. Qin Hao, who was watching the battle from the side, has a solemn expression, and he pumps up his energy. Do his best to resist this overwhelming coercion. However, he still feels that the blood vessels in body are churning, and his body may collapse to the ground at any time. Qin Hao clenches his steel teeth and stares at Shi Hao in disbelief. At this moment, he feels that his brother's figure is so far away from him. He desperately wants to break free from Shi Hao's coercion, as if he is trying his best to prove something. Shi Hao's icy eyes are locked on Qin Zhan's body. He mobilizes the creation of heaven and earth with the stone emperor seal. Although he is now in the Bulo Mountain, he cannot communicate with the dragon energy of the emperor and the power of all beings. The attack is nowhere near as powerful as in the palace, but Qin Zhan still smells dangerous. He is sitting on the rock wall, frantically urging his energy to build a defensive cover. Suddenly, the air oscillates, and the surrounding wind and sand continue to gather, turn into 4 sandstone fingers. With Shi Hao's grasp, sandstone fingers quickly move towards Qin Zhan, but only a few feet away from Qin Zhan. These fingers hit an invisible wall, making it hard to move forward. Between the collisions, there is a sharp friction sound. The huge pressure makes Qin Zhan's consciousness a little blurry, and blood is leaking from the 7 orifices. In the dimness, he realized something. On the brink of death, communication reaches the new life. At this moment, Shi Hao suddenly appears behind him. Wrapping holy light's left foot kicks Qin Zhan violently. With this kick, Shi Hao merges into the Kunpeng treasure, and his figure overlaps with Kunpeng's. The huge Saul's stomp on Qin Zhan. Since you stepped on my grandfather's ribs, then I'll ask you to double it back. As soon as he steps out, Qin Zhan feels as if his body has been hit by a giant mountain. Sternum depression. More than 10 ribs are broken, and his body shots out like a ball. Collapses a mountain, kicks up a cloud of dust. Qin Zhan's vitality is slowly dissipating. He is not angry but happy. He knows he is about to take that step, to die and then to live. Seeing Qin Zhan who is sluggish, Shi Hao's eyes sink. Then he is like a meteor streaking across, and sweeps towards Qin Zhan again. This time, Shi Hao deliberately hides his backhand. Every time he attacks, he secretly buries some points of strength in Qin Zhan's body. On Qin Zhan's side, he has lost the ability to fight back. He is like a sandbag, beaten up by Shi Hao. The whole body is infected with blood, and the bones of the body are all broken. Finally, when his blood dries up, the spiritual liquid of shining golden light is constantly flowing out of his body, submerges the whole valley. Qin Zhan takes that step and nirvana in a desperate situation. But his ambitions don't stop there. He sees the power of Kunpeng treasure and wants to take Shi Hao's Kunpeng treasure together. The divine fluid flowing out of Qin Zhan's body contains the secret method of Bulow Mountain, possesses the ability to engrave other people's treasures. The Kunpeng treasure urged by Shi Hao will be recorded and branded by these divine liquids. Qin Zhan once again uses Shi Hao's grandfather as bait to stimulate Shi Hao to take action. Half of Shi Hao's body is hidden in the divine liquid, and a smile crosses his face. Before making a move, he vaguely guesses that Qin Zhan might be using him to temper his body, and want to use his power to be reborn. Now Qin Zhan's change has confirmed his conjecture. Shi Hao's Kunpeng treasure urges again. Kunpeng's hissing sound resounds through the valley. At the same time, he secretly casts the grass sword art, surrounded by golden sword intent. Qin Zhan is overjoyed when he sees Kunpeng treasure. He thought Shi Hao was fooled. He is enveloped in golden light, facing Shi Hao's direction. Two huge forces collide in midair, stalemate. A wave of air constantly sweeps away towards the surrounding. Qin Zhan can clearly feel that divine liquids are recording the Kunpeng treasure. His deep eyes full of excitement. However, when his eyes fall on Shi Hao's indifferent expression makes him stunned. Shi Hao's icy eyes locks onto Qin Zhan, and says lightly, "You can't spy on my treasure art. You can't take that step after all." Then, a sharp sword intent gathers from Shi Hao's body and turns into the shape of a blade of grass. Under Qin Zhan's astonished gaze, the grass actually pierces through his golden protective cover. Cuts down on him. What makes him even more desperate is that this seemingly weak grass. However, the terrifying aura it exudes is comparable to the Kunpeng treasure. A fear rises from Qin Zhan's heart. Fighting against Kunpeng's treasure has exhausted all his strength. He can no longer bear the sword intent of this grass. Qin Zhan roars loudly, as if he wants to use his roar to make up for the gap in combat power. But it's all in vain. Grass sword chops down. At the same time, Shi Hao detonates the energy he buried in Qin Hao's body. Qin Zhan's body is scratched with a deep wound. There are constant explosions in his body. This time, Qin Zhan is seriously injured, and all his internal organs are damaged. No bones intact. Moreover, after the grass sword art is cut off, the domineering sword intent stays in his body. It blocks the repair of his physical injuries and eats away the spiritual power in his body. Shi Hao wants to completely abolish Qin Zhan's foundation. In Qin Zhan's eyes, the previous madness is gone, replaced by fear and regret. This time he is really scared. He wants to stand up, but his body is like mud, unable to move. Consciousness is overwhelmed by fear and pain. Qin Zhan only feels dark in front of him and passes out. Qin Hao, who is watching the entire battle, opens his mouth to the point of exaggeration. As a member of Bulow Mountain, he knows Qin Zhan's strength. However, such a madman at the pinnacle of martial arts is actually abolished by Shi Hao. For the first time in so many years, Qin Hao feels that his self-confidence has been hit. The strength of his brother makes a crack in his invincible faith.